as cheesy as it sounds, like I love people, right? Like it's my people are my jam. I like love connecting with them, all of the things. And so I'm like, man, when I show up like a frazzled mess, that's not honoring to you. It's not honoring of the thing we said we were going to do together. So I've got a very lovely color-coded Google Calendar where my son, I split custody with his dad. It's on the schedule when Kevin's with mom, with Kevin's with dad, like all of the things, because I'm like, this is the most kind thing that I can do is like clearly set the expectation of where we need to be, what's happening, and then whoever's a part of that thing, you get a Google invite, and it's the best. It keeps me on time. I know where I'm going. My naps are on my whole family knows that English is napping. So like, it's on their calendars.
Yeah.
Don't call me.
I
Don't
want
text
nap
me.
time. You comfortable? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, making sure.
Perfect.
English.
Yes, hi.
One of the coolest names ever.
Thanks.
People stop you and want to know you because you're the lady with the cool name, apparently.
Yeah. There's actually another English in Berks County now, and I feel like she
What?
stole my thing.
What does she do?
She works at Berks Nature, and we have not had the pleasure of meeting yet. But I'm like, I've gotten 3 text messages last week that are like, hey, oh my God, I met another English. I'm like, no, you didn't. Stop.
What is the name derived from?
I have no idea. So I tell this really terrible story. My parents hate it, but they're going to kill me.
Well, you know.
So my mom loved it, and my dad is a sucker for anything she loved, and he just also has some addiction. So I was like, I think she just said it, and he was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And they're like, stop telling people that. I'm like, no, but that's really the truth because no one's given me a straight answer ever.
So they didn't even give you a straight answer.
No, just I loved it, and your dad said okay.
I mean, it's a great name. There's nothing wrong with it, obviously. I just feel like there might have been some, you know.
Right, there should be some very cool story as to why you got the name English, right? But no.
Well, I guess it's like music, you know. There's no rhyme or reason. You hear a tune, you just dig it.
I guess the other really crazy part of that story is that my dad's name is Brian. My mom's name is Tish. I have a younger sister who they were going to name British. I'm like, come on, guys.
Really?
English and British.
No.
No, it's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, it's their kids. I mean, technically, you can do whatever the hell you want.
It's trash.
Well, what's her name then?
Ebony.
Ebony.
Yeah, so now English and Ebony, that's great. But English and British, and so my grandfather was just like, somebody's got to like draw the line here. No, this can't happen.
So why Ebony? And other than the obvious, is it really just the obvious reason, or just I like the name?
I have no idea. Her middle name is Sade, so it's Ebony Sade, and that's
I fucking love Sade though.
right. So that made sense,
Yeah.
but nothing else in this equation matches.
What's your middle name?
Brianna, but with a U because my mom's got to be different.
Brianna.
Yeah. So
B-R-I.
nope.
B-R-U?
No, because it's more complicated than that. It can't be simple. It's Breauna. So Anna, not Anna.
Well, that's like my daughter's name. It's Adriana, not Adriana, even though it's spelled A-D-R-I-A-N-N-A.
Yeah.
Adriana.
Anna, not Anna. It's a big thing. And if you call a Brianna, it's like, fighting words.
Does mom get mad?
No, she's just like, I did what I did. Now you're stuck with it. So, like, all right, here we are.
I know my wife was like, yeah, it's Adriana, not Adriana. And now she calls herself Addie, doesn't even use her name. Is that like a thing with kids?
I guess. My kid's got a like real classic American name, Kevin. He's just Kev.
Where'd Kev come from?
His dad.
That's where my name came from.
Yeah.
No, it's just my dad's name.
It's just his dad's name. And plus, like, I never found anything with my name on it as a kid. So it's like, we're going to give this kid a name that he can find everywhere all the time.
So he can get like the gifts from the gift shops?
Yeah, those Avon like catalogs that had all your like customization stuff. Never got any of those.
Yeah, I never found everything with Freddie with a Y. It was a lot of IEs.
Really?
Yeah, people still spell my name Freddie in emails with IE. Even though on the bottom I have a signature with the Y.
So
yeah, I'm like, dude, do you fucking read?
do you get it? No.
Yeah.
So I have not bought a car for this reason, right? So I am very clearly female, and people, Mr. Bradley. I'm like, no, Miss Bradley, Mr. Bradley, Mr. English, and I'm like, you're not getting it. So I, test drove a car at a dealership that I will not mention, and test drove the car. was coming back the next day, and they're like, "Hey, Mr. Bradley, we wanted to call and see if we were still set for your appointment." I'm like, "I was just here. I was just here yesterday." So I kindly sent a very, very nice email and was like, "If you can't even get my name right after meeting me, we're just not going to do business together." But thanks though.
I made that mistake once at a Sam Goody. I used to work for Sam Goody a long time. You remember Sam Goody? Do you even know what Sam Goody is?
No, but I want to hear the story.
Yeah, so
How did you make this mistake?
no, well, you know what's okay. Well, Sam Goody was a music store back in the day when I was younger, New York City, Middle Village to be exact. And so this person comes in. I'm gonna say has I'm in Queens, so they're like hip hop out. Like the culture is hip hop, which I love hip hop, and I'm all about it. The big, huge leather jacket on, like a beige color, pants to match.
Okay.
And just saw the back. That's all I saw was the back, right? All right. But growing up, men wore the really huge, large,
jackets,
FUBU-esque, leather stuff. So I just always saw, dudes. And then I was like, "Hey, sir, how can I help you?" I was being nice, just doing my job.
Just trying to be polite.
I see the head tilt back like this. And then do the turnaround, like
the very obvious neck roll.
And I was like, "Fuck!" I was like, "I'm sorry." I just think I couldn't tell from the back. Yeah. So
how did that end?
It's crazy. She actually came back in again after that because I didn't act like a dick. I was just like, "Listen, I'm truly sorry." From the back, sorry. I just, you were rocking it hard. I just thought it was, man, I'm sorry, totally
that's
sorry.
Nice.
Turned around, but gave me the look of death, like I was gonna get my throat slit.
Oh yeah, you're like in for it when you get the side neck roll, and you're like,
yeah,
no, no, please, I'm so sorry.
But she still came in. Yeah, that was my first lesson, and I don't even know what that lesson is. I mean, look, you wore big leather coats and shit. I just, growing up in Queens, I just thought, yeah, growing up in Queens, the women had like the special jeans and the shirts that were a little baggy, and the dudes wore the jackets even when it was fucking 90 degrees out. They still wore the jackets, like I'm like,
why are you in this leather trench coat? It's
right.
102
or like what was it triple fat gooses were a thing back then.
What is that?
This huge, like, what are you, like 20?
No, I'm 30.
Yeah, no, you're still young as shit though.
32. I'm 32.
Oh yeah, you're right. You know what I forget though? I forget that I'm older.
Nah, prime time. You're just
still older though. Still older than everybody else. I mean, I'm older than this guy, than everybody.
Oh jeez.
I'm a good 15 above you, Cooks?
Yeah, I'm 32.
Now
okay,
I'm 12.
Hey, friend.
12 years easy. I don't know. Anyway, whatever the fuck. So I fucked that up, but they were cool after that.
Funny story about FUBU jackets because you brought it up. I went to Catholic school and had.
Sorry.
Right.
Me too. 9 years.
It is rough. I got asked not to come back before 9 years. So, product of the early 90s, and my dad and cousins were just really tall black guys, and so I just thought that they were the coolest people in the world. So I borrowed some Timberlands from my older cousin and my dad's FUBU jacket, and they did not appreciate it. So I had to do some Hail Marys and sit in the
Oh, that's why they didn't appreciate it.
Yeah, it wasn't great. And so I figured they just didn't like FUBU. So then the next dress down day we had, I dressed up as T-Boz from TLC, and that also did not go over.
Why not?
I mean, bright blue eyeshadow and like chunky platform heel sneaker things. Just it wasn't.
Were they like hardcore, idea. Like I don't know what's the word for it. Like my dad wouldn't let me have long hair. And I had spiky hair once, and he yelled at me. He wanted me with a part in my hair, parted over, ironed clothes. Yeah, which is funny because now I put the part in on purpose. But he was very proper. Yeah.
No, my mom was very strict-ish, if that's even a thing. So I was not allowed to wear sneakers, like old school saddle shoes, and like lace socks and little gloves with like,
Where are your parents from?
Here. They're born and raised here. But yeah, my mom just, girls don't wear sneakers English. We don't really wear pants, or didn't, unless it was like a gym day. And then we were just like little kids in lacy dresses and big bows. And so my cousins always pick on us, my sister and I, because they're like, they would go outside to play in front of our grandmother's house, and I'm like, you're ruining my dress.
What the? Well, okay. I gotta dig deep here.
Yeah.
Where are your parents like? Well, okay. What's your heritage?
We don't know, unfortunately. So I do know that my great grandmother was American Indian, but just very Southern. That's it. That's all I got.
So they come from the South.
Yes. So, well, my dad does. His family is in Greenville, South Carolina. My mom, most of our family is here in between Texas and Maryland. So.
And your dad did whatever your mom said because he loved your mom, you said.
Most times.
Right. So then where does but all the dress and all that stuff came from your mom?
Oh, yeah. My dad's just like, put on the shorts if mom's not home. So. And then they got divorced, and he lived on the West Coast for a long time. He was in Phoenix for about 20 years, but called all of the time. We spent summers out there, which is why we love Phoenix. But yeah, it was weird. It was a weird childhood. But my uncle bought me my first pair of retro Jordans, and I thought I was the coolest kid in the world, like strolling up and down 2nd Street in my like church dress and Jordans. I was
That's
like,
awesome.
That doesn't match. Like, doesn't matter. I've got sneakers.
Man, I wish I could wear Jordans. I got the whitest feet on the planet.
I was like 7.
I have to wear like dad shoes, the New Balance.
New Balances are comfy.
They're comfortable as
They're
hell.
so comfy.
But
got
it's the
good
only
arch
ones I can
support.
wear. I'm just like, well, because my foot's like, so.
It's big as the box. Is that what we're saying? Just wide as the box?
It's just, yeah, I guess I'm a big box. I don't
Love
know.
you.
Yeah.
It's all fine.
Yeah, right. No, I dig it, man. So your dad was in Arizona for 20 years.
Yeah.
And Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you dig it out there?
Loved it. I'm going to tell you again, the wet poodle. So I've got really big curly hair when it's not up and braided. And so I lived in Florida for a little bit with a boyfriend, and I just look like a wet dog all of the time. It's like curls don't look good in Florida. But spending my summers in Arizona, it was beautiful. There's so much to do. It's so cultured. The mountains are stunning. There's something like really beautiful about that clay and purple and just the expansiveness of it. The heat is awful, right? Like 120 at 10 a.m. sucks.
Well, that's the part I don't like about Arizona. I mean, and my wife likes to go, but it's a dry heat.
No, that's fair. Like,
why is
allergies?
that fair? It's 120 degrees,
right.
English.
I mean,
120 degrees.
I recognize that. And it's hot, of course.
Yeah, that's more than hot. That's like a fucking oven.
It's relative. It's fine. It's okay. It's only really bad when you're, when you get in the car and you're just like, I can't.
When you're me and you have to walk to your car that's 10 feet away and you need another t-shirt by the time you get over there.
I'm sorry.
It's terrible.
I love it. I really do. I get real bitchy when I'm super hot, but there's AC and pools and it's fine. It's really not that bad. And the pollen, there's no pollen.
Nope.
That works.
I
so
could
I'm not
never
dying.
survive. Just burns.
No, it burns. Stop it.
Pollen just deteriorates, disintegrates at 120
Nothing
degrees,
lives
dude.
here.
Nothing lives here. But
Nothing
the
can
mountains.
survive. No, I don't know. It doesn't feel that bad. I mean, of course it's hot, but whatever.
When did you go to so you spent summers with your dad? Mm-hmm. So, dude, how hot? And he was in Phoenix.
Yeah, Apache Junction. It's like 20 minutes outside of Phoenix.
So how hot was it in the summertime, dude?
Oh, it was dreadful. It's dreadful at like high noon, you know what I mean? Like noon to 3 o'clock, just don't go outside. And like, I'm a really sleepy person. I love to nap. It is my love language. I'm serious. Like, you're laughing and I'm so.
No, I love naps when I can get them, dude.
It's okay. So segue. I schedule a nap once a month because I'm like a child. You
schedule a nap once a month?
Yeah, on my
I feel
color
like I should
code
be
and
doing
calendar.
it like once a week.
If I could, I would. But I set the time aside once a month. I put my phone on airplane mode. I get new sheets and new pajamas. I have more sheets than anybody needs. So if anybody is looking for bed sheets, I got you. But yeah, so I put it on the calendar. My family knows. My kid either goes with my sister or my mom or his dad. And yeah, I just go to bed. Like 2.5 solid hours. That's it. It's amazing.
What time?
Like 1 to 4. Right, because I've got to give myself some time to like ease into the sleep.
Is it like on a weekend or during the week?
No, it's on a weekend, usually like a Saturday. Like a little cat. I find the sunny spot on my bed and I just like, curl up and go to bed. It's
And so
amazing.
you like when you're ready to do that, you can nap. Like you can just.
Hell yeah. Yes. Yes. Nothing gets in the middle of me and going to bed. It is like the thing I am driven to do. Like Blake Lively did this tribute to Ryan Reynolds and she's like, he's programmed to come home, right? And I'm like, no, I'm programmed to go to bed. I will go to sleep. That's it. If I'm sad or even if I'm really happy, I'm like, I'm so excited. I'm going to sleep.
I've heard a lot about scheduling lately. Like that's interesting that you tell me that about your naps. I'm watching the show called Shrinking on Apple TV.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, and they talk about scheduling 15 minutes to grieve on that show. Right, so it's like a thing where you schedule it for 15 minutes. You put on like the most saddest song on the planet that you could think of, and just 15 minutes and listen to that song and just bawl your eyes out and cry and grieve.
I kind of love this.
Yeah, it's pretty nutty. And then now my wife keeps like bringing it up. She's just like, "Oh yeah, 15 minutes. I want to go home." She's like this morning. She's like, "I just want to go home and set my timer for 15 minutes." And I know what she's talking about.
To grieve. I just want to grieve.
And I'm like, it's interesting the scheduling thing because a lot of people schedule things. They schedule when they wake up. They schedule when they read, when they meditate. And I come to think to myself like, I'm like a Johnny come lately with these things. Like I know about all these things. I know about journaling. I know about how you have to work out. I know about blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But the scheduling thing is kind of like, it's interesting because I feel like I'm cheating, or I'm not doing something, or I'm doing something I'm not supposed to be doing, because my life these days, because my life these days is just so like, you got all this work to do, man. You have all these people depending on you. You have all these things that you have to get done, and like all these businesses, and which is great, and of course I have staff now. It's getting done, but I feel like when I schedule something like that, I'm like, I'm doing wrong. Where it's like
That's
this past weekend, right? It rained for 2 days, and I knew it was going to rain for 2 days, and so I'm not going anywhere. So I'm like, this is a perfect 2 days to like bust open a laptop. I could probably catch up on everything and feel great. I didn't do a goddamn thing. I didn't do anything.
Story of my life.
And I'm just like, bro, the universe gave you a little gift. You should have just taken advantage of it. But I didn't schedule anything, and I wonder if I would have scheduled maybe like, what if I scheduled 4 hours a day just to do something. But I don't know.
So I've my life is so busy, right? Like I'm a mom and I work and I volunteer and I'm a college student because I'm a nutcase.
You go back to school too?
Yeah, because I stacked all of my life choices. Thank you, because I need it. But I felt like I was carrying all of these things, and I'm really intentional, right? And that sounds I'm like a really intentional person.
I envy that though, because I'm not.
No, so I like to be, but I was dropping the ball in places or forgetting that I needed to be somewhere and showing up late. And I'm an actually very punctual and responsible person. So I was like, okay, I need to like figure something out so that I can honor all of the commitments that I made and the people. Because like, as cheesy as it sounds, like I love people, right? Like people are my jam. I like love connecting with them, all of the things. And so I'm like, man, when I show up like a frazzled mess, that's not honoring to you. It's not honoring of the thing we said we were going to do together. So I've got a very lovely color-coded Google Calendar where my son, I split custody with his dad. It's on the schedule when Kevin's with mom, with Kevin's with dad, like all of the things, because I'm like, this is the most kind thing that I can do is like clearly set the expectation of where we need to be, what's happening, and then whoever's a part of that thing, you get a Google invite, and it's the best. It keeps me on time. I know where I'm going. My naps are my whole family knows that English is napping. So like, it's on their calendars. Don't call me. Don't text
nap
me.
Time.
Honestly, it's the best. Like I am a much nicer person because I've gone to sleep.
That's true. I got 8 hours last night. Okay. I went to bed at 10. I forced myself kinda-ish. I was like, babe, I'm going to bed. I'm going to lay down. And then we just talked in bed and shit, and then I finally passed out.
Yeah.
And I woke up this morning, not in a rush to jump out of bed. But I got up and I was like, And I turned off my CPAP and it says 8 hours. I'm like, fuck.
Look at me.
I got 8 hours last
doing
night.
The things.
Went downstairs, took a walk on the treadmill. I was like, let me just I just gotta. My friend Tina says lotion is in the motion. So you have to use your body.
Yeah.
You know. Few grabbed barbells, did a few little things. Went upstairs, made myself a couple eggs. Like I wasn't rushing this morning.
It changes.
Yeah.
It changes everything.
I felt good getting out of bed, whereas the morning before, fuck the world. Like everybody, don't even bother me. I got like maybe 5 hours. I did the walk. I felt like I wanted to kill people. My legs hurt all day. I told Luke not to even come in yesterday. I was like, don't even come in. Because I knew like he was going to come in. He's my intern. He's a great dude. I felt like he would have came in and I would have said some dumb shit. Just because I was in a bad mood.
So my friends and I, they're like, honey, you okay? I'm like, I'm tired, uncomfortable, like, or I'm hungry, right? Those are my 3 things. I'm like a child. That's it. And so but I'm a better person when I'm well rested. Like I can think clearly. Mm-hmm. I'm not so quick to be snappy. I have a tendency to have a little bit of an attitude. And so
No.
Right?
Well, you've never had one with me. I mean, you're just fucking sunshine and rainbows.
Thanks. Yes.
I mean, I don't work with you every day, but you know.
No, and I really am. I'm this person all of the time. But my kid, he goes, do you need to go to bed? He's like, because you are snarky. I'm like, oh, thanks, babe. He's like, I was just asking how to we're in the process of like teaching him to do his laundry properly.
Nice.
And so, because he's shrunk a couple of shirts and everything is pink because it all goes in the same, like, and I'm just,
I still do that shit. I'm the
kidding?
worst. Well, I shouldn't say that. Jill loves doing laundry. If I do it, she yells at me because she enjoys it.
You are a blessed man.
Yeah. I mean, but I know how to do it. I know how to do it. But there's days where I'm just like, fuck it if it's pink. I
like shit. Pink, right? So Kev, like, he's just like, Mom, all my stuff is pink. I'm like, well, then, like, I've told you how to sort it, like, here, and like, there's bleach. That's a thing. And he goes, I don't know why you have such an attitude. Do you need to go to bed? I'm like, I think I do. He goes, I'm gonna make myself lunch, and you can just go to sleep.
How old's your son?
He's 12. I'm like, did you just give me permission to go, to go away? And he's like, yeah, because you're crappy, lady. I'm like, all right, got you.
That's
and I woke
awesome.
up and then I apologized because, okay, I'm sorry. I was a bit of an asshole about your laundry and whatever. And he goes, you're always nicer once you wake up. Okay.
That's one thing I love that you apologize right away because I was never that guy. I was terrible with that. I'm talking about like, a time ago. I never apologized. I would just be like, fuck you. And like if you didn't want to hang out with me anymore, I got other people.
Yeah,
it's a bad trait to have though.
That's changed. I used to be like and I still can be when I feel like being an a-hole, right?
I didn't say he wasn't hanging around.
Yeah, but like there are times where I'm like, sorry for how I said that, not sorry for what I said. Right.
I like that. Yeah.
Because that's the truth. Like I said what I said, and I meant it.
That's a thing too, right? Because like I could probably say it in a better way.
Correct.
Doesn't mean I didn't mean it.
Right. I'm like, no, there's real truth in here. And then we just like, I find that a lot of people don't like argumentative discourse, right? Like they feel like you're attacking them as a person or whatever. And I'm like, no. I just don't agree with what you said. So let's talk it out. Doesn't mean that you're terrible or I'm right. There's some things that like the truth happens in conflict, right? And people just don't want to go there.
And drinking.
Oh, and drinking. I love tequila.
Man, alcohol brings out the truth. Everybody talks about truth serum. I'm like, yeah, it's called fucking alcohol.
Yeah, like lower inhibitions. And now sometimes I'm just like, oh, might have said too much there. But again, said what I said, probably meant it, unless it was some incoherent sentence. Then I don't even know what I meant. So that's fine. But here we are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like I said earlier, I'm just kind of like, I don't know, man. Like, why is it that a lot of the time you have to put like that face on? And maybe not face is not the right word, but like, yeah, right. Like you're home and you are who you are at home. Yeah. Your kid loves you, but he knows you can be crabby, which is funny. It's funny to me, but that's cool. But when we leave and go out in public, like no matter what's going on with us, and I feel like because of the brand that we've created for ourselves, I feel like we always have to be that person. And I'm kind of like, I want to be like a snake right now. I'm ready to like take off shed that
peel it
skin
off, yeah.
and be like, listen, all right, I've been here for so long now. This is who the fuck I am. Like, this is the real Freddy Vasquez, and like, he's just not gonna take your shit, you know.
So is there a big difference between the natural self and the perceived self, or the self that everyone else sees in you?
I think there is now, because crap. How do I say it? Well, you know what happens is so you come out here, you don't know a soul. I don't know a soul. I mean, I came out here blind with my wife and 2 kids. You know, like, I don't know. The only person I met was the person that rented us our first apartment. Like, that's all I knew. And then you start networking and you start meeting people, and you're overly nice. You're overly accepting. You're overly everything because you just want to be accepted. And I was talking to my wife about that the other night. I was like, you know a lot of the shit that I do in my life stems from the bullying I suffered when I was a kid, you know? And she was like, you still deal with that? You still hold on to that? I'm like, yeah, it's just, it'll never go away.
Right.
You know, it's just what's in my DNA at this point. So I look for acceptance a lot because I was never accepted as a kid in school.
I hate that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not boo-hooing. I just realized this is what the fuck happened to me. So now as an adult, I was kind of thrown into the same realm in a sense where I don't know anybody. So like, how do I start getting people again?
Right.
How do I had no people. Right. How do I make friends? So I wasn't fake. I was just like maybe overly accepting of everyone's characteristics or whatever they do. And, you know, we could talk about religion, politics, sports teams. Like, I mean, it sounds stupid, but like, I'm a Mets fan in Philadelphia Phillies country. It's rough. You know what I mean? So like, so all that happens. And then good things happen. And then you start doing community work. And I love doing community work. I'll do that all day. So I start becoming this guy. And then I start to see like the bullshit of others come out. And maybe it's like, oh, you know, Fred will do it, or Fred doesn't care, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I actually started calling out people on their bullshit, like without thinking about it, which is bad because my wife's like, you really shouldn't make any emotional decisions, Fred. Yeah.
You should probably take a nap before you say that.
Yeah, I should probably take a nap. Because I remember one time I saw someone on social media. I screenshotted it and sent it to that person.
Damn,
and like called them out on their shit.
How did that end?
The person apologized, but then I felt terrible as a person for doing that. And I was like, why would you do that, bro? Like, why would you be like that? Why do you care? Why do you care what they did? Like, you're who you are. Don't fucking worry about anybody else. Right? Because that's how I in my head, my wife was like, I know you were mad, but maybe you shouldn't have really, whatever. And I'm like, no, you're right. So I apologized to the person.
Really?
I did. I was like, you know what? I shouldn't have done that. You should still be allowed to have whatever thoughts or opinions you have or whatever on, because it's technically, hey, man, it's America. You know, if that's the way you feel, that's the way you think, that's fine. But then I thought to myself, but I'll never fucking forget it, you know. But it was stupid because then I felt bad about apologizing because I was like, well, now you're a fucking lame-o. So then ever since then, I've just been like, you know what? Fuck it.
I don't know. I think there's something to our convictions, though, right? Like, if something has moved you to anger and this is your friend, hey, tell me how you got there, because like whatever, like your thoughts are really disrupting something in me right now. So if we are really friends, I should be able to like check in on you and check you when you're wrong. And maybe your thought wasn't wrong, but help me to explain it, because now I'm questioning our friendship and if I even like you, right? I think that's fair.
Yeah, it was a weird thing because it was just a situation where I don't want to say I can get petty, because I don't want to say I'm petty, but I expect things from people when I do things for you, and not like help you move. Like, that's stupid. I mean, so I have a poker game every other month, first Thursday of the month, right here.
Okay.
And this is my home. Okay, this is my home. Okay. And if I invite you into my home, I expect a certain amount of respect from that point forward, because I let you into my home.
Yeah, in my sacred space.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I know this isn't where me and my wife and my kids live, but I fucking live here a lot more than my real home. This is still my home.
We need to change that.
Right. But I'm not totally I'm not mad about that.
Okay.
I'm not. But this is, So when you have said person in here all the time for those nights or involved in certain things or whatever, you expect a certain amount of respect for that. At least I do. Okay. And when you see person recommending somebody else for services that you provide, you just go, well, what the fuck, man? And, so maybe that was petty, to call him out on it. Maybe he was being dicky or whatever the case is. But then I thought to myself, but the way I handle those things is I recommend no one. I just don't say anything because, hey, you know how many plumbers I know? You know how many fucking electricians I might know or whatever? Right. I just don't put it out there. I just maybe PM them and go, hey, man, I can't put it out there because I have clients, but blah, 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 blah.
Or here's a list of people that I've used and known. That's it.
I just don't, because you know what? It's just shitty.
Because
it
doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel good, man.
Yeah.
And you're just like, well, man, that's a dick move, dude. Why would you do that?
Right. I thought we were friends.
I thought we were buds. And you know what the crazy thing is that it's like poker night. Now I know women or they might not get it. It might be, oh, you fucking guys have your guy night. You guys are idiots.
Right. What are you doing?
Right. But you literally sit here and you talk about shit for 2 or 3 hours. It's a guy thing, and I've been saying it a lot lately. There's a bro code, there's a code, man. Okay. The unwritten laws of things. Like when there's a whole table full of guys and everybody knows who's dating who, if somebody breaks up, nobody at that table is allowed to ask that girl out.
Fair.
That's a code.
Yeah.
But it's not written anywhere.
Right, but you just know.
You just know that's against the law. It's against the law of bro. It's just the way it is.
I love it.
So shit like that happens. Just like, damn, bro, that's fucked up.
Right. You knew the rules and you didn't play by them.
Right.
Yeah.
So that sparked off the fuck you, Fred. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna bring back. You can take the boy out of New York. You can't take the New York out of the boy.
No, and there's got to be space for both, right? I don't know. I can appreciate being a little petty sometimes. It brings me a weird sense of joy when I'm just like, yup, did that. Yeah. And then sometimes I feel sorry about it, but other times I'm like, nah, this felt great. It just felt great.
You're just like, yeah, dude. And I think I'm getting to that point. I don't want to come off as like a bad dude or sinister or nothing. I don't feel like I am that.
No.
But I just love getting closer to the curmudgeon-y old man phase where you're just like, well, he's a curmudgeon-y old man, so fuck it.
So I just had this conversation with my interns, right? So we've got 3 new summer interns, and we always have these very strange conversations about hey, who still uses voicemail, right? Because these kids don't set up their voicemail, and I'm not that old, so I'm just like, what is wrong with you? How do you?
Oh, so they don't set it up on purpose?
No, they're like, oh no, I have them translated to text messages. I didn't even know you could do that.
Me neither.
Right? I don't know how to do it, but I know you can do it.
Wow.
So.
Oh, man,
and I'm
so
just
old.
Early 30s, so I'm like, I'm not this old to not know these things.
It takes 3 years to be old.
No.
Yeah.
Stop.
My wife proves it to me all the time. My wife is 3 years younger than me, and it feels like a lifetime.
It's crazy. So we're having these conversations. We've talked about phones, right? The old school
rotary phone.
Yeah, the rotary phone.
Yeah. Well, you talk about the dial or the rotary phone?
Both. Okay. But so we had a dial phone, and one of our interns was like, doesn't this belong in a museum? I'm like, shut your mouth. Knock it off. That you're joking, right? And he goes, no.
So they don't even know a regular phone.
I mean, he's seen one before, but thought it was old enough to be in a museum. And I'm just like, friend, what? How? Okay.
But I mean, I want. Does your son know these things?
I hope so. Or I'm
well, he's
failing.
12, man. You're not failing. He doesn't know what a phone is. But when he's 12, you're like, wow, has he ever seen a phone?
He has.
It makes you wonder.
Thankfully he's seen a phone, but it was the cordless phone, right? So even that is leaps and bounds different from. And my grandmother, she passed away 2 years ago now, but she had a wall mounted rotary phone in her house that still worked. So he has played with it and those kinds of things. So he does know what it is, but I think in his mind he's like, grandmom's old. Mom is old, but she's real old.
Yeah.
So but yeah, we were talking to these interns, and I was just like, I can't wait until I'm like 95 standing in line at Rite Aid. It is my favorite thing to do on like a Friday evening when like the old people are like arguing with each other in the line at the pharmacy. It is brilliant and wildly entertaining. And I just like, I want to get to that point in my life where I'm like,
Yeah.
I can say whatever the hell I want to because I've earned the right to do that because I'm 95.
Right.
Like, and who's going to stop you?
Nobody.
No. And it like, it's my favorite thing. It brings me so much joy to just like, Harold, shut up. Like, that's ridiculous. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy because I think to myself, like, how do you become like those people that could just really just say this, they just say whatever they want? They fear no, and it's not like I'm not talking about the people that insult other people.
Correct.
Just like, they're just like, fuck it, I like this, or I just dig that, and I don't want to do that. And I'm just like, oh man, it's so cool.
I think there's such a freedom in that, right? You're just like, here we are. I'm here. This is it. This is what you get. And I think everybody is trying to like work towards that space.
Yeah.
And I've done a pretty good job. I think I'm going to say this about myself in the last couple of years of just like who I am at home is who I am everywhere, because it is exhausting and I have too many things to do to try to be someone different. But seriously, like it gets exhausting wearing that mask all of the time.
It does.
And you're just like, I can't do all of this. So it's almost like my calendar, like showing up as exactly who I am every day is just one less thing that I have to do. Or like I don't have to try to remember, oh my God, English, who were you with Fred versus who you are at work with your staff, like, and like trying that code switch. And I think it was Dave Chappelle, right? He was just like, English, what is it? He's like, Black and brown people are automatically bilingual. They speak customer service and hood vernacular. And I was just like, that's so true.
I'm not black. Well, no, black and brown. I got the same shit.
Yeah.
Except
yes.
But what's funny is this podcast is where I'm a little bit more Fred though.
Okay.
Yeah. When I'm at FXV Digital, I just call it white Fred because my mom's white. My mom's straight up white, blonde hair, like white, Irish, German, Italian, all kinds of.
Gotcha.
She's from Brooklyn, New York, whatever. She's white. My dad's from Ecuador. He's like South America, pure 100%. So there's days where like I met the mayor last week in person at the Birdhouse Challenge.
Yeah.
And of course, right away I'm like, ¿cómo está? I'm going into ¿cómo está? Todo está bien, and I bust out the Spanish with the accent because you can be like, todo está bien.
Como está?
Como estás?
Yeah,
or you like really say it with the sazon on it, and then like they accept you. Like me and him did like a pound and shit,
Right, and there's that hug thing.
Yeah, it's like Barack did.
Uh-huh.
And Barack went through the basketball line when he shook the white player's hand.
Yeah.
But then he went like this with the black dude and gave him a pound. I'm like, that's so true though.
These are my people. Like I feel
Yes.
seen. Yes. No, that's
Yes.
real. That's so
dude.
real.
No, I love that. But I feel like it's true though. It's like even the lady I had here yesterday, Michelle, potential client, we had the Zoom call. We were both very professional. And of course I'm like, like professional Fred, service oriented Fred. And by the time we were done talking yesterday, because she came in for a visit to talk again, we were here for 2 hours. By the end of it, I was like more Fred.
Yeah.
And I think the funny thing is I think she appreciated that more.
And I think all people do, right? When you can give people like a glimpse of your authentic self, they're like, okay, cool. I'd rather do business with someone that I feel like I can get to know. Not that we need to be friends per se, but like someone who's comfortable and relaxed. Like, why else are we working together?
Right.
You can get cookie cutter service from everybody. She comes to you for exactly what you bring, which is a little bit of sazon, as you said it, right? So I was showing my kid this reel the other night about this gentleman. He's Latin, or Latinx. I was going to say whatever. I couldn't remember if he's Dominican.
Latinx?
Because I'm
What
trying.
is that? I don't know. I'm curious.
It's like a pronoun thing where instead of Latina or Latino, people are going by Latinx.
Oh, it's Latinx.
I think. That may not be right anymore because I don't know.
That's a whole other thing that I don't. That's not that I don't understand. Sometimes I'm trying to teach myself how to approach people neutrally, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. So for that sake, he's Latin, And he was saying that he was in Denver on a ski trip, and he goes, Denver TSA is just like the mountains, right? They're all very, very white. And they had to open his bag. These are not my words, they were his. And TSA opened his bag because he had sazon in it. And so the TSA agent was like, what is this? And the guy goes, it's adobo. He's like, well, what's that? He goes, it's a spice. And he goes, can I try it? And so the
I'm
guy,
like, sure.
right. So the guy like puts it on his finger and tastes it and goes, it's got a little kick to it. This guy just like falls out. He's just like, adobo's got a kick. Friend, have you ever had paprika or like cayenne pepper? It was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. It's just like, this is real.
That's
this
truth
is
though, because my dad would make burgers on Long Island for my friend. Now, like growing up on Long Island, I didn't have many Spanish friends. They were still all in Queens. You know, like that's just where they were.
Okay.
Like Spanish people existed on Long Island, but where I was at, it was a lot of white people. Okay, so it was like me and maybe 10 other Spanish dudes, and then there was a lot of white people and Italians.
Okay.
But all my friends would come over, and my dad would hook up the grill because my dad just liked doing that shit. And he had like, I think it was a sazon adobo, and I think his special ingredient, he didn't tell anybody, was Italian seasoning maybe.
Oh yeah, it goes on everything.
Right, but he put it all in like a used adobo bottle and just like shook it all up or something.
He's
right?
Brilliant.
Yeah. So then, but he just starts making burgers, and I eat them and they're delicious. But I'm kind of used to that because I grew up on all this stuff.
Right.
My friends were like, "This is like the greatest burger I ever had." Like, what does your dad do to these burgers? Like, they're just so tasty. Like, what happens? I'm like, I'm like, I fuck with my boys. I'm like, cause you're white, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't even know, like, do you know what salt and pepper is?
Stop. Okay. My sister's gonna kill me. So we have this thing. My sister's husband is Irish and Hispanic, and he is not accustomed to very like seasoned food, even being a Hispanic man.
I was gonna say, how is that even possible?
Right. Well, because he grew up more with the white side of his family, and they are lovely people. And some things like the PA Dutch kind of stuff is amazing and delicious, but he's like, I prefer just like canned string beans. And that's not a thing for this, your very black wife, right? I'm like, string beans have like a ham hock and garlic and butter and
you guys can throw down, boy.
Yo, it's so good. It's so good. And he goes, nah, I just prefer like the Dole can. I'm like, you can't say that.
No.
You can't say that anymore. And now you've got 4 black and brown children, and they're just like, yeah, we like daddy's string beans. I'm like, no, you don't, guys. Like,
My boy Dom's a black man. He works in the back. He's a financial planner. Last year, we were like, let's have a barbecue. It was like summertime, just me and him in the office. Let's just have a barbecue. My man put vegetables on the grill and did some shit to them, and I ate them, and I was like, bro.
never had vegetables
I'm
like this.
What the fuck? I told Jill, I was like, babe, Dom made me vegetables today at work. She's like, what are you talking about? I was like, we barbecued. She's like, oh, okay. But they were like the greatest vegetables I ever had in my life. And I was like, what the hell did you do to them? And he was like, I just made them and seasoned them. And as a Spanish man, I was like, damn, bro.
It's just,
what the fuck?
It's a thing. And so we have this, we go on vacation every year together. We take a siblings trip, and it's lovely. So we've got 4 sisters and then our brother-in-law. And so we go with the kids, and I'm a big cook, love to make breakfast in particular. Like I love feeding people, right? And so I'm like, guys, I'll make the eggs, right? I just hook them up with some heavy cream, salt and pepper. If I'm feeling real spicy, we'll do a little bit of adobo.
Scrambled.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
you put adobo in your eggs, you just said?
Sometimes.
Really? What does that taste like?
Heaven.
How much do you put in there?
Just, a couple shakes.
Interesting.
I mean, do you want like 2 tablespoons? I don't know.
I don't know because I feel like, I wonder, man, I should just try that shit.
It's so good.
Because I feel like breakfast is like, I like the American breakfast, the white breakfast, whatever you want to call it. I guess I just grew up more on that. My dad's breakfast was last night's rice and like a slice of bologna. You know what I mean? Like that's what my dad really didn't even eat breakfast half the time.
Okay. All right. I feel
my mom was like, the pancakes, the French toast, the waffles. I'm like, so I got to try that.
It's so good. Yeah. And so we have this argument. Kev's like, can I have mom's eggs instead of he calls my sister Bebby. Instead of Bebby's eggs? Because like moms are colorful, right?
He's got a great vocabulary.
He's ridiculous.
That's awesome.
It's
They're
the
colorful.
best.
It's like the best
Yeah,
description.
well, because they're like, they're flaked with the pepper, so you can see the pepper flakes in them. And so my sister goes, we're not having the egg conversation. English, just make the damn eggs. She's like, I can cook and I season my food. I am still black. And I'm like, no, you are. Of course you are. But
but then it's just different though. Like, it's funny. Vegetables I never, I guess, maybe gave them the attention they deserved, honestly. Because I always do the salt pepper thing, and that was veggies. Where, like, in my family, I think they spend a lot more time on the protein.
Oh, yeah.
So like Spanish, I remember making steak for my mother-in-law one day. I went and bought thin steak on purpose. Classic sazon adobo, that's it. Threw it on the fire grill. Not like the gas grill, like the charcoal grill.
Yeah.
I was like, try that. And she was like, wow. I'm like, yeah. I was like, and what sucks? I used to eat that shit all the time. Now it's just like so rare. And that's why my buddy Will showed me that restaurant on Fifth Street, Mofongo.
Oh my.
You been there?
It's so good.
Holy shit, bro.
So good.
The churrasco, I was like, dude.
I had mango for the first time, and I was just like, why did I never know this was a thing? Like, why didn't anybody tell me?
Right.
And so I was there with a Dominican friend. She was like, yeah, girl, changed your life. And
He's
I was
Dominican.
like, oh, you sure did.
Yeah. He took me there. He's Dominican. He was like, yo, I'm gonna put you onto this. That's what he says, and we go.
That's exactly what she was like. Because it was, I'm looking at the menu. We went for like an early lunch, brunch kind of thing. And she goes, I was like, what's good? Like, I can get the normal, like, arroz con condules and pepinil, whatever. And she was like, have you ever had mango? And I said, I don't even know what you're saying. What is this? And she goes, I got you. I'm going to put you on. So she orders in Spanish. She gets me this thing that I could interpret enough. It was like dreams of death. And I was like, I don't think I should eat that. But it's like this orange creamsicle dream.
Oh, yeah. I had that. It's good.
Oh, it was so good. But I'm like, I get the dreams of death because I want to go to bed at this point. But I ate the entire plate with no shame. It was so good. So good. I'm like, you can feed me whenever.
Yeah, dude. But that's what I love about. That's why I want to travel, really. Like, I travel in the States a lot. It's just a little easier. But, man, I want to get over to, like, Europe. I want to get over to, like, Asia. I want to get over to, like, all the different places just to eat. I just want to eat their food.
Yeah, eat your way through. I want to eat and people watch.
Yeah.
That just sounds like the best time to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, could I have a meal in every country, right? Like, I would love to visit, like, one country on every continent. How cool would that be?
Why not?
And yes, once I finish school and everything else, I got to take some things off the plate first. Yeah. But I would love to do that with my kid. And he was like, well, what would we do? And I'm like, eat and watch people. He's like, that sounds creepy, Mom. But no, I think people are so fascinating, and just
dude.
People watching is so interesting. And so we've got these really big windows in our studio that you've been to.
Yeah.
And oh man, on like a really slow day, I'm just like, I stand at the window and just watch all of the fun people on Penn Street, and it's wildly entertaining.
Yeah, people watch here. I get up because I get the things to stand up. And your Apple Watch. I'm like, okay.
Move.
And I go over and I just sit there and I watch, and people just do the darndest things just by walking.
Yeah, and just like watching them in their natural habitat, you're like, man, and maybe this is just me, I like create these narratives for them.
Yes, I always do that. Right. I go down these rabbit holes in my brain. My wife's like, where are you?
I don't even know. I have no clue. But
I'm like, hey, imagine this. And you know what he's probably thinking? He probably did this. And she's like, hi.
Hey,
come on back.
There's a real life happening here.
I love that stuff, man.
Yeah, I think it's a nice, quick vacation in your mind to get away from all of the other stress and ludicrousness that is happening around you sometimes.
And that's why I think about the scheduling thing. Like the fact that you schedule your stuff a nap is, and I know I busted your chops already. Like, how come you don't do it weekly? I'm like, Freddie, you don't do it at all.
Really?
Like, why don't you try to schedule one thing a month for yourself?
Well, and it really came about with everybody's talking about self-care and what they're doing. And I'm just like, really the most cared for thing that I could do for myself is to go to sleep. I feel refreshed. Like there's comfort in that, right? Like my bed is the most stable relationship in my life. That's really dramatic, but it's true. And I'm just like, it's comfort, it's rest. It is just like this place where I feel very seen when, not that anybody is watching me sleep because that's really fucking weird. But I don't know. There's just like this very holistic space that I get into when I sleep. I also just like, I have very vivid dreams that help me to process life. And I don't know if it's like a trauma thing as well, where I can just like, I have better reasoning in my sleep and I can usually wake up with the answer to something. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, I love sleep. I also bought a really expensive bed. I went through a house fire a few years ago.
Oh, that sucks.
It was wonderful. I'm like best person for it to happen too, honestly. Like this community is so beautiful that like, so this was maybe 8 years ago at this point. Kev was 5 and we lost everything. Whoops, sorry. We lost everything in this fire but we were safe. So that's best part about it, right? Yeah, just stuff. And I had renter's insurance. So I'm like, I get a new couch. And I bought a really expensive bed and the community just really, really came around us and helped us get everything we needed. But this bed, I love it.
What'd you get?
It is a Simmons Beauty Rest Black Label with
hydro
cooling gel and all of the
Does that shit work?
Oh my God, I'm never hot nor cold. It is just, it sees me. I'm convinced this bed, like it knows me. And I'm just like, yeah, man, that's my guy.
How'd you pick your bed?
Boscov's. I was
you
like,
just went in there and just.
Yeah, I was like, I need a bed. And so I bought a king size bed. It's just me.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I went around and I sat. I took like 7 hours in Boscov's, which is ridiculous.
It's a smart move though. That's the one thing you do every day, guaranteed, is sleep.
I need
in a
to
mattress.
like it. And I've had like really terrible mattresses, right? And so yeah, I was like, if I'm going to spend money on something, it's going to be a really solid bed. And it's got like a lifetime warranty and all kinds of things. And it's fabulous.
I was talking to Jill about that maybe a couple weeks ago. I was like, it's the one thing you do every day, yet people get so cheap on it. No. And I'm like, dude, you lay on it literally every day. You're like, unless you're on vacation, you're there.
I do love hotel beds though too.
I know the last hotel we went to, Jill was in love with the bed. She was like, wow, what makes this bed? This is freaking beautiful.
So tip of the trade, right? I used to work that's how we met, right? I was working at the Inn at Reading, and was it a PAC meeting or entrepreneurs?
Oh my goodness.
Right? So like
Absolutely.
Years ago.
But then I didn't see you for a while, I think. And then like I saw you at Old Navy that day with my wife. Yeah. And then I saw you in Reading at the TV place, BCTV, right?
Yeah. It's wild. Isn't it crazy how like paths?
Holy shit.
That was what, 6 years ago? Maybe?
And at Reading was 2016 days for me.
No.
Yeah, 2016. Really? Yeah. That's when I met Core Health for the first time. That's where I met Sarah from Core Health.
And Jen Larsh.
Yeah. And everybody.
The whole crew.
And some of those people aren't even with us anymore. It's crazy.
It's so wild.
Yeah, it's like, wow, 6 years. You just think of all these people you met, and like some of them are just gone.
Well, and just how much life changes in 6 years. I guess that's to your point of like you can get old in 3 years.
No, yeah. Well, what I meant by that is like, well, I didn't mean like you're not older because of it, but like I talked to my wife about things, and she's like, "You're old." I'm like, "It's only 3 years, babe." Like, I talk about like certain movies or something. She's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." I'm like, "What? It's 3 years." So then I think to myself, 12 years. Like, and that's why your son Kevin, I'm like, does he even know like what that stuff is? Like I saw this great video the other day. A mom gave her son a cassette that was wrapped, and she's like, open it. And he was like, I struggled with getting like the plastic off, and then how the cassette box opened. He was like,
I don't know what to
do. And
do.
He broke it, and she was just like, the way to do is this.
How did he break?
I don't know. I was just watching this video, just like, he hasn't. And then I'm like, yeah, well, I don't. Yeah, why would I expect him to know how to open?
Why would he know that? Yeah,
right.
It's so strange. Time is a really weird concept. Like I don't get it. Sometimes like, how did we get here? Or like, what life choices did I make to be right here right now? Because that's even more wild.
I made a million life choices. I should be in Chicago right now. If I went through one life choice, I wouldn't even be here.
Isn't that crazy that just like one decision genuinely like completely changes the course or the direction? Like if it's that simple with one decision or that wrong, right? Like if you really fucked it up and you're just like, now I'm in prison, shit.
Well, I mean, I don't think I know how to not make those decisions.
Right, but like some people don't. Like they just don't have the reasoning. I'm just like,
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
my kid is he's so sweet. He's the best, and he's got really big, beautiful brown eyes, and he's going through puberty, right? And so he asked me a question, and I did not have a solid answer for it, and I was just like, what life choices did I make to be right here talking about this kid's like body right now?
Was that why dad is around? Is that do you pass it off to him sometimes?
Oh, for sure. I tried. Like I really gave him the best that I had. And I was like, I think we should call dad. And he goes, don't make it weird. You're my mom. I'm like, baby, it's not weird. I just don't know what to do. And then his dad and I are on the phone, and he goes, I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, what's happening? Somebody's got to give this kid an answer.
Well, he seems like a smart kid, though.
He's so smart.
Yeah, like super like extra. Like he's 12 in age only.
It's wild. And it's so funny because there are times where he's just 12 and like, right, boys, farts will always be funny.
Oh, they're funny now. I'm 44.
But, right. And I'm just like, I don't know that that's just a boy thing.
It's
like, I don't know. If somebody farts in the grocery store, you're just like, you're going to giggle and be like grossed out. Like it doesn't matter.
Every time.
I'm just like, this is disgusting.
That's what men do.
Well, so he's going to kill me. He goes, Mom, I just crop dusted the lady in Rite Aid. And I'm just like, Gavin, why would you do that? He was like, my stomach hurt and I didn't know what to do, so I just had to let it out. I'm just like, oh my God. And so now I'm like hauling ass to like get out of there because I don't want her to think it's like me, right? And it was just like a whole thing. And I'm just like, Kevin, kid, like you can't do that. And he goes, I farted. I'm just like, so he's like very much 12, but then he's got this this really beautiful way of connecting with people that's really cool to see. And like I've got my friends are lovely, so they'll keep him for me if I'm doing classwork, or they're like, hey, let Kev come over and hang out with us. And even adults are just like, yo, I like talking to that kid. I'm just like, oh,
I feel like I would too.
I'll bring him over. He'll just like pet your dog and look at all your shit. And
I mean, that's fine.
You'd have to feed him though, because he eats like a ravenous animal.
What do we not eat? You don't think I don't know what's up? I'll hook up your boy. Don't you worry about that.
But yeah, that's all he cares about. Is like,
you like mofongo, Kevin?
Okay, so we went to the farmer's market, and it's called Caribbean Cravings. So good.
What do they got?
They have oxtail that Kevin tried for the first time. He was like, Mom, why didn't you ever tell me about oxtail? Right? We've been there 7 times now.
Wow.
That's his thing on a Saturday. He's like, Mom, you want to go get some oxtail? He's got the inside scoop now.
Dude.
He's like, and that cocoa rice? Like, he's just like, got this thing, and his like eyes light up. It's so
Caribbean
funny.
food is so good, though.
Oh, it's so good.
So good. I
had the really, really cool pleasure last year of going to Jamaica for a friend's wedding. I was just like, do I have to come home? How do I make this permanent? I will just like, I don't know. I'll build a stand and sell keychains if I get to do this every day. Like, that's it. It was so
Jamaica's
good.
Beautiful.
It's incredible. And it's like, it's everything you think of, right? Like the picture of it that you have in your mind is the culture. It's what it looks like. It was incredible.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things I love the most. I love the Caribbean. Food's great. But it's like Jill and I, we go to Sandals every year. I kind of like made it a thing for us to do.
I love that.
And I went to St. Lucia 2 years ago. That was a spiritual experience for me.
Ooh, please tell me more.
Yeah, it was. I went into I'm not a big water guy, but I grew up in New York, and the water's brown. You go to the beach, Jones Beach, it's brown. Who the fuck wants to go in there?
Right, not getting in that.
No, I mean, it's disgusting. So I hated the beach. I mean, I went with my parents and stuff, and it was fun to do. Mm-hmm. But then I was just like, I got older, and I was like, it's brown, and it looks like crap. Anyway, go to the Caribbean, went to St. Lucia. Well, the first thing I ever did was go to Hawaii. And I went there with my daughters. We did that for their 16th birthday. We were like, hey, you guys want a party? You want a diesel-ass trip? They were like, trip.
Yeah, smart girls.
We went to Hawaii, and I love the water in Hawaii. I mean, I cannot wait to go back. It doesn't
That's
take
cool.
you out anywhere. It's calm. You're at the water's as blue as they say it is.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Then I went to St. Lucia, and I felt like the water was like engulfing me and like taking me in and cleansing me of like the bullshit that you just deal with.
Yeah.
I wrote a whole blog post on it. I'll send it to you. It's just
Yeah,
easier to
please.
describe that way. But I even read back on it like a few weeks ago, and I was like, man, I can't even believe I wrote this. But that's how much the ocean, the water in St. Lucia affected me that I was able to even write all that.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I read that back, and that was only 2 years ago.
I need to be cleansed again.
And I was like, where is that guy?
Yeah. Okay. So I felt that way in Honduras. Stunning, 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 right? Black sand beaches, like turquoise water that just, it glistens. Like I have just never seen water like this ever. And I had that experience where it was like, so I'm a very big faith-based person, right? It's just like it informs all of my choices in life, even the bad ones. But I felt like there was this like transcendent peace in the water that was just like, you are safe here, even in this like really vast ocean that could kill you. And there's like, right. But there was just like this beautiful peace and like watching the water, just like, we sat on the beach and like let it kind of just cascade over you. I was just like, wow, I have never felt that way. Or I hadn't up until that point. And now I can like kind of find that again every once in a while. Like tulips. Okay. This is gonna sound ridiculous. I don't know what happened during COVID, but like the tulips were stunning that like that spring, like April 2020.
Okay.
I don't think I'd ever seen a tulip before. I mean, I'm sure I have, but I had never actually seen it. They've got these like really thick green stems and this fluorescent red, like this, it glows. And I was crying. Actually, I was walking past here because Kevin and I, he's working from home, or I'm working from home. He's doing school. And I start sobbing on this walk on Penn Avenue. And he was like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, the tulips are so beautiful. He goes, they're just flowers, Mom. And there was just something about them. And I felt this like transcendent peace looking at the damn tulips. And so I'm sobbing. And he goes, I think you either need to go to sleep or something's happening here. And we go home, and a couple weeks later, I'm driving. I was heading up to the Poconos. Why was I going to the Poconos during COVID? I don't know. There was something happening, and this beautiful field of fucking tulips. And now I'm in my car, and I'm just like, the tulips are so beautiful. And now every time I see a tulip, I'm like damn near in tears. It's ridiculous, but it's just like this beautiful sense of peace that just like washes over me. Very similar to
Well, you
like,
think it was because of COVID? Because of how fucked up everything was?
I
And
don't
that
know,
was like the little bit of hope telling you like it's going to be cool.
maybe I really felt like I'd never seen a tulip before. I don't know what it was, if it was just like the soil had time to rest and now everything's beautiful. I don't know.
Well, I think everybody's vision changed in a sense. Everybody's just thoughts on life or thoughts on stopping and smelling the roses, or like we were talking about earlier, hugs. Hugs are, I still remember, like now it's different because like, I mean, I always liked hugs, obviously. But you remember during COVID, nobody wanted to be around anybody.
Right, don't touch me.
Right. And then I would have people come in, and maybe we were doing a podcast, and maybe they were just in to say hello. And you would always have that awkward like, well, I want to say hello, but do you want me to say hello? Or
What do I
I not want to say hello? And they'd look at me, and they would always ask me, I'm a hugger. I'm like, bring it in, and then we would do it. And so for me, hugs became more special, more important after COVID,
Yeah.
So I get that.
Well, I told you earlier, I wasn't a hugger before. I just like had some trauma and things like that. And so I was just like, please don't touch me. Just don't touch me.
Sure.
I went through therapy, and it's just like, I think you need a hug. Just like, okay, I don't want that though. I don't want this. And now I realize, like, in addition to my naps, I've got a beautiful, beautiful friend. And I called him the other day. I was like, it's finals week. And I was like, hey, I need a hug. And he drove from his house to just come give me a hug.
That's cool, man.
And he's like a really tall, big black guy. So like he gives you those like envelopes, you know. It's just like, thanks so much. I'm also a crier. Kevin's like, are you feeling tender and teary? I'm just like, yes, baby, I am tender and teary. But and this friend goes, are you good now? And literally he just came, gave me a hug, and left. And I felt better. And so to your point, I'm like, this is healing. This is like sometimes what you need is something or someone who is bigger than you or who can just like kind of hold you close and say like, all right, you're not falling apart. It's fine. And even if you are falling apart, like
it's fine.
I'll sit here with you and like let you melt down and like be cool. And yeah, it was great. I was just like, I'm so privileged to be able to have someone who will like stop what they're doing because I am melting down over my fucking finals and be like, all right, girl, I got you. But then like, I'm going back home then. And it was great. It was the best. So I texted him the other day and I said, hey, thanks so much for that hug. He was like, yeah, you'll return the favor. And I was like, dude. Yeah, I totally would. I will totally stop what I'm doing to come give you a hug because you need it.
Those are the people you need in your life, man.
Yeah.
You know, those are people that, like Joey Diaz, this comedian, he always says, he's like, you know what? Everybody says you need like an army or like all these people and like all this stuff in your life and a million friends or whatever. He's like, you need 2 or 3 solid motherfuckers to take over the world.
Yeah.
That's it. He's like, you get 2 or 3 solid motherfuckers with you, you can fucking do anything.
You can kill it.
Yeah,
and like somebody who gives you the confidence to be like, all right, I got this. Mm-hmm. Right? Like,
that's all you need is one person to tell you, bro, what the fuck? You're good. Just go handle your shit. And then you're just like, I got it.
Yo, you are fucking Fetty Vasquez.
I know.
Go do
you're
it.
Fucking English Bradley.
Right. That's crazy.
That's it. You wish you could be us.
Right. Yes. You damn sure do.
That's right.
Killing it.
That's how we fucking do it. English.
Yeah.
What a conversation.
So much fun.
Yeah, dude. Thank you for coming in today.
Yeah, I was so privileged that you invited me. I'm like, there's been some really cool people at this table. Yeah, so dude. I'm like very, very honored that you would let me come sit and hang out.
Let me tell you a secret. Every person that comes in here, I hold them high at the same level. Nobody's more special than the other. It's just a conversation I want to have. And because this is my place or my show, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. And you're one person I know I always wanted to talk to, like on like other than like, oh, how you doing for like 5 minutes, and then we both go on with our lives.
Right.
So I honestly at this point can't wait to meet your son Kevin. So
we'll be by.
Yeah.
He's the best.
It'll be killer to have him, and yeah, man, I hope to do it again real soon.
All right, got you.
Hey, thank you for checking out this episode of Fred Talk. If you dug what you saw, make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss another episode. You can also check us out online at fredtalk.tv. Don't forget, your Uncle Freddie loves you. Peace.